All right, gents, it's time for May's war story. All right, I sent you a couple pictures a few days ago. Matter of fact, I got one of them up right here. And what this war story is about is back in the summer of 2004 in Iraq. I don't know if you all remember, but this cleric named Muqtada al-Sadr, leader of the Mahdi militia, he brought his Mahdi militia down to Najaf and they invaded and secured the Imam Ali Mosque. The Imam Ali Mosque cemetery is the largest Shia cemetery on the planet. And all his guys were in the mosque, all out there in the cemetery. Lots and lots of bad guys out there. So anyways, I've got a bunch of great war stories dealing with that particular deployment. Had my A-team up in Fallujah, some great stories up there. The Battle of Fallujah happened a little while after this. But for today though, I just want to talk about this picture, this one particular spot right here. My A-team, I was the team sergeant for my A-team. My A-team was the sniper operational detachment alpha for a special mission unit, a SIF company. You've got one sniper team supporting two assault teams. So basically everybody on my A-team was slotted as a sniper. We were divided into several different SO cells, sniper observer cells. Great guys. I wouldn't have traded any of my guys for anything. And we had been hunting out in the cemetery there, the Imam Ali Mosque cemetery. And then we moved to another spot in the city. And how we would move around, even though we had a couple of Humvees, we brought probably $1 million worth of thermal sights with us, Barrett 50 cals. We had every piece of kit under the sun. But you didn't want to drive into the city, occupy the building with your sniper teams and leave your two Humvees parked out in the alley. That's kind of letting the bad guys know where you're at, right? You know, they're going to tear up your vehicles. So what we would do is we would bum rides with the local cav units. The cavalry was there. I remember his name, Colonel Naylor, light colonel at the time. His troops would give us rides around. We might be riding one day in their Humvees to get to another building, or they might give us rides around in their Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. So anyways, looking at the satellite imagery and the layout of this city, and the cav, they had all the buildings numbered. And it's like, all right, I saw that he had a squad or a light platoon in this one particular building that was only like a couple of blocks from the actual mosque itself. I was like, man, talk about a new target-rich environment. Because you'd be in a new area and you could only hunt for a couple of days, and then all the stupid people were dead and your numbers would drop off a lot. So we would end up having to move to a new neighborhood. So anyways, I'm like, hey, sir, I want to move my guys to this building right here. You guys are in building number such and such. He said, okay, that's fine. Just make a note that building number such and such across the street at 1500 today is scheduled for demolitions. Okay, no big deal. You know, I don't even know what that means. I just know my guys need to get into this building right here. No big deal. So I go back and brief my guys. I talk to the company commander that was going to bring us out there. They load us up with some of his Bradleys that are going out to do like a chow run. They call it a milk run. You're bringing out more supplies, MREs, maybe some mail, water jugs, everything else. Because I remember the back of this Bradley we were riding it even had a bunch of rolls of toilet paper that they were bringing out to this position. So we're riding out there. We're in the back of the Bradleys, and you know, my guys are all set up. We got all of our kit and everything. I got one guy's got a Barrett. I think one guy had a 300 Win Mag. A bunch of us had SR-25s. I was running an SR-25 Mark 11. Some of my other guys had SPRs, the 5.56 version, accurized 5.56. We had thermal sights. We had all this other stuff. We didn't bring hammer and chisels. There was lots of stuff that we should have brought that we didn't bring. And yeah, we learned a lot in this trip. So anyways, no big deal. This is just another milk run, middle of the day. So anyways, we drive up there and the Bradley comes to a stop, and as it drops the ramp, then they told us they were going to back the ramp right up to the building. As the back ramp of that Bradley drops, there's already a gunfight going on. I mean, there's gunfire everywhere. I can hear an M240 Bravo singing inside the building. If you don't know what that sounds like, you go back to the archives and you pull up our Tactical Rifleman video on the M240 Bravo, and you'll hear that noise. Now, this was going off inside the building. That's why I told my guys, I was like, hey, look, get in a fight, get in a fight, get in a fight. So we all go running out the back of the Bradley. We go up into the building. Young lieutenant looking up at us, his eyes all spooked, like, you know, here comes a bunch of American stormtroopers. We go in, and there's the 240 gunner, and I see all the windows on the first floor. They're shooting stuff up, just shooting stuff up. I tell my guys, hey, go high, go high. We start running up the stairs, get up the second story. Same thing, there's more Cav troops there singing. I actually saw an AK round come through one of the open windows, and these are all solid poured concrete walls. So the AK round hit the wall, kind of dropped on the ground. It was a tracer round. That's what I still remember it, because this is the first time I'd ever seen a AK tracer laying on the ground still lit. So it kind of caught my eyes. Like, first I was thinking, you know, it's like a pen flare or something, but no, I was standing right next to a AK round that still hadn't burnt out yet. Then, you know, went out real quick, but just sticks in my mind to this day. Get up to the third floor, and the way this building was set up, if you go to picture number 3, you'll see that this hotel, it was actually a hotel, the front rooms actually overhang the street. There's actually windows that face the street. So I go up into that corner room because I knew from there I'd have clear shots straight down the road. I mean, the room actually, that part of the building actually overhangs the street. I'll be able to see all the way down the street. I get into that room. There's a couple beds there. There's windows, curtains on them. And I go up there, and the glass is facing the other side of the street, but there's no windows facing down the street. I turn, and there's a bed there. There's a perfect spot for a window to be a perfect line of sight all the way down the road, to be able to see 450, 500 meters, but there's no window there. And I can hear my guys in the next 2 rooms. They're just getting their blasts on. These guys are just shooting. I'm like, man, I need to get in a fight, So I'm like, hey, we got explosives, no big deal. So you can see in the picture here, you can see my hole in the wall. I'm even gonna zoom in on you a little bit. See my hole in the wall? All right, so what I did was I was like, you know, I put my SR-25 right on the bed there, and I lined up on the wall where I wanted my loophole to be. I wanted it to be about this wide, about that tall, so that I could pan the gun up and down, left and right a little bit. A little close to the wall, but this is what I got to work with. I need to get in a fight. I need a hole fast. Didn't bring a hammer and chisel. Now, in an assault company, we use explosives to breach doors. Now, one of the explosives we use is called ECT, explosive cutting tape. Now, it's designed with a linear shape charge, so you can go up to a door, put it right next to the locking mechanism. You got the deadbolt from turning the knob, and you got the deadbolt above it. Your explosive cutting tape would sit right there, and when it goes off, that explosive charge would cut both those metal bolts. The door would slide right open. I didn't bring any with me. I didn't bring hammer and chisel. I didn't bring an explosive cutting tape with me. Maybe some of my guys did. So I yell out in the hallway, hey, does anybody have a door charge? Well, Randy Tackett sings out, I got one. What door do you need open? I'm like, Randy, I don't need a door open. I'm gonna blow a hole in the wall. Give me your charge. Of course, he gives me that look. He doesn't want to give me his charge. I'm the master sergeant. Give me your charge. So Randy gives me the charge and a firing system. I measure exactly where I want my gun. I peel the hydrogel on the back of the explosive cutting tape, and I stick it right on the wall, right where my gun's gonna be, and hook up the firing system. I yell interior breach. I pop it, I see the flash in the tube, I yell burning. I picked up my SR-25, I go out in the hallway, just in time, boom. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have my hole, I'm gonna be able to get in a fight. You've seen the picture, gonna be able to get in a fight. I go running back into the room, and it didn't put a hole in the wall. It barely chipped the plaster. But what it did do was it set the blanket on fire. It set the sheets on fire. And it set the closed cell foam mattress on fire. That with that big acidic black smoke just billowing. And I'm thinking, what a dumbass. What a dumbass. But here, all this black smoke, I mean, we're going to end up having to evac the whole building. It's gotten that bad. What do? I run into the bathroom, turning knobs. There's no water. The utilities have been off for weeks now. Like, what do? What do I do? Got my window. There's a window the other side of the room. Window. So I throw the curtain open. Windows won't open. I take out my pistol and I start smashing out the glass like they do in the movies. Now, if you look at the picture of me behind the gun, you'll see I got white medical tape around my wrist. That's right. I was a dumbass and I ended up cutting my wrist on the broken glass. I'm raking the glass out. Why'd I get scared like that? It's because up above my head, a AK bullet came through, smashed a pane of glass up above my head. And the whole time I'm thinking, dumbass, you're going to get shot while you're trying to put this mattress out the window for being a dumbass. Got to do it though. We can't leave the building and go running out into the street. The Bradleys have left. I rake enough of the glass out. I throw the burning blanket out into the street. I grab the mattress. The mattress is just burning, bellowing smoke. I'm having to run out in the hallway to grab breaths of air. I come back inside, finally force the mattress out. That was when I cut my wrist, by the way. I finally get the mattress out. The mattress drops out the window. I run back out into the hallway, grab a breath of air. Okay. Except the smoke's still coming in. Smoke, maybe I missed something in the room. I go back into the room and all the black smoke, I mean, it's solid black smoke. You can't see through it. Pouring through the open window, pouring through it. So I run back up to the window, and if you look at picture number 3, there's a ledge below the window. The mattress had dropped out and had landed on the ledge. Try to guess how far below that ledge is, by the way. How far below the window is that ledge? I can tell you, it's just out of arm's reach because I was leaning out trying to get it. I couldn't reach it. Black smoke billowing in the room. What do? So I run back inside. I go in the bathroom. I end up tearing down the shower rod, the curtain rod. Go back outside. I'm leaning out the window. And now another window pane breaks from an incoming AK round. I lean out the window and I sweep the burning mattress off and watch it drop to the ground. I run inside, go back in the hallway, grab another breath of air. I'm golden. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I still don't have a loophole. Gunfight's still going on. I gotta fix this loophole. Gotta fix this loophole. So what I ended up doing was I pulled out my pistol, 9mm ball. This is tough stuff. And I shot the wall. Boom. Bigger hole, but only about 3 inches deep. This is a solid, this is not an Afghanistan mud wall here. This is a solid, well-built Iraqi second world concrete wall. Solid. Got through a little bit. That ain't gonna do it. I need to get deeper. What do I got that's stronger than 9mm? Don't have any more explosives left. M118LR, 175 grain Sierra Match King, 7.62. I grab up that SR25, standing there. I knew right where I wanted it to be. I kind of turned sideways to protect my gonads just in case there was a ricochet. And I put 2 rounds, down 2 inches, 2 rounds, down 2 inches, 2 more rounds. And sure enough, it gave me enough of a knock through that wall that I was then able to chisel enough of it out to get my little hole that I needed. I didn't have a hammer and chisel. I ended up actually using this suppressor off my SR25. It was good enough. Don't tell old Reed Knight. He might take offense to that piece of crap can anyways. I had my hole. Finally get my loophole made, and gunfight's over with. No more bullets flying around. That's okay though, because now we have a good loophole where I can see, 450, 500 meters down this road here. Now, but except every once in a while, we'd still start taking sporadic AK fire. The guys the next room over, they couldn't really get up in their window because there were rounds coming through the window there. So I had the one good position. We're trying to figure out why these rounds are coming in. And it's because the bad guys had somebody out there. They really wanted this guy back. They wanted him back bad. Why? Well, I got another thing I want to show you. That second picture I put up. Now remember, I've got a 450, 500 meter field of fire down this street. Why did I put up picture number 2? Why, if I could see 500 meters, 450 meters, why would I put up a picture showing you roughly 101 meters away? I say 101 meters because I actually lays the corner of the building there at 101 meters. Why would I put up this picture? Well, because when you go back to it on Patreon there and you zoom in, I want you to zoom in right behind that box laying in the middle of the road. And what you're going to see just to the left of it, just to the right of it, there's actually a guy laying there in the street. Whoever this guy was, he's obviously a VIP because these guys wanted him back bad. They wanted this guy back so bad. They would have the guy with the AK plink at us, and then they would throw little grappling hooks out there, try to hook this guy, pull him back. They moved him around a little bit, but they couldn't get this guy out. So we're laying there watching this, and all of a sudden this broomstick comes out with a loop hanging from it. Look how far away that is from the edge of the building. Here's the edge of the building over here. That guy's way out there. You can actually see the lines coming down if you zoom in. That broomstick comes out and it's taped to another broomstick. And then that comes out a little further, taped to another broomstick. I tell my guys, I'm like, hey guys, hold on. God's gonna hook me up. They're like, what are you talking about? You gotta remember, God loves snipers. Like, God's gonna hook me up. What are you talking about? God is gonna make that stick about a foot too short. They're like, yeah, right. Lo and behold, the stick starts coming out, it breaks, they end up pulling back in. It was about 3 feet too short. I know what's coming next. Y'all remember the old World War II, Kilroy was here? The old cartoon, right? And on the wall, had the fingers, and then the nose hanging down over the wall, and it would always say, Kilroy was here. I knew that's what was coming next. So I line up right on the edge of the building. Because what happens when you're scared of the boogeyman around the corner and you're trying to reach something and you can't reach it? What do? You peek. You peek. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Lo and behold, I see a couple fingers come around the edge of the building. Then a couple more fingers come around the edge of the building. And then I see that ear come around the edge of the building, and right about when right when the tip of the nose made it to the edge, he was only peeking with one eye. I already had that first stage up on that 2-stage SR-25 trigger. Right when I had enough of that melon out there, I let that sear break. Caught him just off the bridge of the nose. Bang, he went, and it was like Sasquatch just ripped the body out of the woods. He got grabbed by the feet, pulled back behind the wall. I'm just giggling like a little schoolgirl, and that was awesome. That was hilarious. Combat is hilarious. It's 30 days of boredom for 30 seconds of excitement. I just had my 30 seconds. Now, not 2 minutes later, out comes the stick with the loop on it again. I'm like, holy cow, how many guys are behind this building? So we start thinking, hey, how about if we launched an M203 round behind it, behind the corner? That would flush everybody out into the street and we could mix metal and meat together again. We didn't bring an M203. So anyways, one of my guys goes downstairs and asks one of the Cav guys that had an M203, hey, we need your M203. Now you just carried this thing for a whole deployment. You want to give up your M203 to an SF guy just, when you finally have a chance to shoot around? No. So anyways, they bicker like little schoolgirls. Finally, my Sergeant First Class trumps the E4 and he comes up with the M203. So I'm lined up, I'm ready, because I know they're going to flush a bunch of kids out in the street. Bunch of Mahdi militia, we're going to be mixing metal meat together. I'm ready, I'm waiting. And I hear him, he's getting ready to shoot. And I'm just watching, I'm zoomed in. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. All of a sudden, that whole part of the building just detonated. Big explosion. I mean, dust just billows in through my little loophole in the wall. Dust comes in through the window. Big marble panel from the ceiling drops down and shatters across my back. If it had come down on the side, it would have cut me in half. And I'm thinking, holy cow, what kind of M203 round was that? And then I hear another round go off, and then I hear the M1 Abrams tank driving, and I'm like, what's going on? Ah, that's when it dawned on me. I look at my watch. The colonel told me, hey, Master Sergeant, at such and such time, building number such and such has been scheduled for demolition. That just happened to be that building. Talk about picking the wrong building to stand behind, huh? Anyways, long story short, nobody ever showed back up behind that building there. Go figure, the building wasn't there anymore. I ended up getting pulled out later on early the next morning to go to a meeting to discuss the final assault on the mosque. But I left one of my sniper teams there and my assistant. For the book, he goes by Christopher Robbins. And I want to thank Christopher Robbins for picture number 3. If you go down, what Chris did, he took his snipers and they actually, the next day, they moved with the Cav and they went and they occupied the building where the enemy were shooting back at us. And he took this third picture and you can actually see our side of the building where they were lighting us up. And you see the windows where the air conditioners were, where they were shooting at my guys. And then my position, if you zoom way in, very, very hard to see, but my position, here's my ledge where the mattress was. Back to the window here, come on. You see the floor, and my loophole was actually behind the red Arabic writing on the wall. So anyways, we ended up moving to another spot a little while later. This was one day in one of many days, and anyways, I just wanted to give you a small taste of that, 30 seconds of excitement. And yeah, pretty well every day there we had great hunting. And anyways, that's this month's war story. I've got an even better one for next month, so y'all take care. Shoot straight. I'll see you next time.